Hello everybody on YouTube, this is Super Nintendo, and I thought I would go into a little bit more detail as to why I don't like Ultra Instinct and why Dragon Ball Super has entirely fucked up the concept for me. Before I continue though, sorry for the light glare, it's kind of bright outside, you know, it's like 5:30 something in the afternoon right now and the sun's just right up there, so sorry about that, but let's get into this anyway. So, Ultra Instinct. I feel like I should go over the abilities of this form, transformation, power-up, whatever you want to call it, for those who do not know. Ultra Instinct is the ability to move your body and counterattack without thinking. Goku in Dragon Ball Super Episode 129 achieves mastery of this form, allowing him to do just that. Dodge and counterattack without thinking. However, in Dragon Ball Super Episode 130, things are a little bit different. Jiren powers up even further and is able to land hits on Ultra Instinct Goku. Goku eventually recovers and deals enough damage to put Jiren down, but then the power apparently was too much for his body to contain, or something along those lines, which doesn't make any sense. Because the way that it was explained to us is that Ultra Instinct is essentially an ability that allows you to move out of the way and counterattack without thinking. It has nothing to do with containing, and even if that wasn't the case, he shouldn't be even using power to even maintain this form, because, well, for one, this shouldn't even be a transformation in the first place, considering the way it was explained to us however long ago in Dragon Ball Super and in Resurrection F, is that it is a skill. It is a skill that you have to develop. You have to teach your body to do this. Is Dragon Ball Super essentially trying to tell us that Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Blue and all this shit works similarly to Ultra Instinct? Could Krillin and Master Roshi at some point gain Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Blue or something like that? Because, okay, bad example, but alright, here's a better one. Here, fuck. It's essentially it's like turning the Kaioken, a technique, a skill, something you have to learn, into its own transformation. That when Goku combines it with Super Saiyan Blue, which doesn't make any sense from what's told to us in Super, but that's not the main topic here, that when he goes into Kaioken, he's actually combining two transformations into one. That's essentially what they're telling us. So it really doesn't make any sense that Goku in Mastered Ultra Instinct can be pinned down by anyone who doesn't have this ability. And what makes even less sense is that Jiren, when he does his maximum power-up, he has the exact same fucking aura as Mastered Ultra Instinct. It's just red instead of blue, white, and magenta. It doesn't make sense. And the way that they're showing us is that Jiren also has Ultra Instinct, but they don't ever, as far as I'm aware, they don't actually point it out that he has Ultra Instinct. And it really doesn't make any sense. And I'm really kind of tired of talking about Super and how little it makes sense, because apparently a lot of people that are subscribed to me or watch my rant videos on Super don't understand where I'm coming from. I'm not expecting Dragon Ball to be Full Metal Alchemist levels of storytelling, of detail, of whatever. I don't need every single thing. I don't need Super to be like Full Metal Alchemist, to cover their ass at every little instance and make it all make sense. Okay? However, I want it to make sense within its own universe. And when one of us, and when we're told what Ultra Instinct is capable of and what it can do, but then shown that you can just power through it and like make it, oh, I'm stronger than you. So here, if Goku is in Mastered Ultra Instinct and he still isn't as strong as Beerus has Ultra Instinct, but he hasn't mastered it. Can Beerus still beat him? Can Beerus still beat Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku because Beerus is stronger? That undermines the entire fucking point of this ability. The entire fucking point of introducing this ability was basically like, no matter who you're going up against, as long as you are able to dodge without thinking and counterattack without thinking, you shouldn't lose. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what else I can say to point out to you people how little this makes sense. It's just so fucking terrible that... And what makes it even worse is that the introduction to this form, when he just covers himself in white and like there's black shadows all around him, but he still has the aura, and he catches Jiren's ability and he just kind of crushes it in his hand, and he, like, Jiren rushes at him, Goku just darts out of the way, goes like that, and lands like 30 fucking hits on Jiren, knocking him the fuck backward. Like, that was fucking awesome! It really was! It could have sold me on this ability had they actually had the balls to make it work. Like, you can have Jiren, like, struggle against him like he was doing, you know, like, fist clash and, like, they're powering up or whatever, but when push comes to shove, Goku should not be actually taking any damage from Jiren whatsoever. Unless Jiren also has Ultra Instinct, and in which case, it should have been a fucking draw. Because they both have basically I'm not gonna say omnipotent or no limits, but they both essentially have an ability that make them unbeatable. Essentially. I'm not saying Mastered Ultra Instinct could, like, beat anyone. Don't take me out of context. But I am saying that within the universe that they're coming from, this ability should make them unbeatable. Then Goku shows up, he comes in, and is just like, oh, I'm not a champion of justice like you, but if you hurt my friends, I won't forgive you. And he comes up, he's about to knock him out, and his fucking back explodes, and he's covered in, like, purple lightning. Whis says, like, oh, the limit-breaking power of the gods is taking too much of a toll on him. And it's like... So this form that essentially, according to you, the person who fucking introduced the ability, how does not thinking about your movements give you a new type of energy? Can somebody please explain that to me? How does not thinking about your movements give you a new fucking transformation, first off, and a new type of energy that not even the gods can attain? just boggles my mind. And I, just to make sure that I was understanding this, I watched episodes 129 and 130 3 times each, just to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. No, as Dragon Ball Super explains it to us, Ultra Instinct is a transformation, apparently. When you go into it, you get an entirely new type of ki. Apparently, just being in the form drains your stamina, or the energy can like recoil and backlash or whatever. Apparently, being able to dodge without thinking doesn't apply to enemies who are like, I don't know, fucking twice your power. Even though it completely undermines how the form was even introduced, like how this shit was like explained to us however long ago. It entirely undermines the entire point of this form. It's just, god damn it. I'm trying to do this as calmly as possible, because honestly I have a really bad headache right now, and I don't want to strain my brain right now. But this is just how can anybody like this show? Because Dragon Ball Super keeps pulling shit like this all the time. I think I might have a live stream at some point where where people who actually like Dragon Ball Super, people who like Dragon Ball Super, please explain to me why you like Dragon Ball Super. Please give me reasons and explanations as to why you like it, because I just don't get it. And that's coming from somebody who likes Dragon Ball GT. You know, because Dragon Ball GT, it has its problems. I'm never gonna say that it's a perfect continuation. And the sun is getting a little too close. Let me shut my blinds real quick. There we go, much better. Now I'm not like half white. So, why exactly do you guys like Dragon Ball Super? If it's the cool fight scenes, I'll attest to you there. It has some pretty cool fight scenes. But fight scenes alone don't make a good anime. You need a coherent story that makes sense within its own narrative. And if it's a continuation, it has to make sense with the previous iterations of the series. And Dragon Ball Super is a continuation. It's fucked with, it doesn't make sense within the Dragon Ball continuity in the slightest. Cause like we're 7-8 years into the 10-year time skip. Bulma straight up says at the end of Dragon Ball Z, Goku, I haven't seen you for 5 years. Pan and Bola are 4 and 3 respectively. Yet in Dragon Ball Super, Pan should only be about 2, maybe? And 2, and if we're 7 years in, then that means she's 5 at the end of Z, and Bola is straight up born 2 years after fucking Pan, so she's actually like 3 or 2, depending on what you believe the timeline to be. There's also shit like Cell's timeline. How exactly does that go to Future Trunks' timeline? Goku Black's origin doesn't make any fucking sense. Goten and Trunks are still knee high, even though they're supposed to be like 15 or something like by now. It just doesn't make any fucking sense, and it bugs the shit out of me. And it just... I don't know. I don't think I can talk about this show anymore, honestly, because I think I'm close to getting an aneurysm every single time I talk about it. And no matter how good the final episode or the movie is, it's not going to salvage this piece of shit of a series. And I really hope that Dragon Ball doesn't come back for another series. Or at least if it does, it should just be a spin-off series like Dragon Ball Heroes or something. Because... God damn it. It's just so fucking terrible. And it really kind of bugs me that people will shit on GT for... Honestly, GT does not have that many flaws. It, like, the last 2 arcs are rushed as hell. It has a couple of design choices that aren't necessarily traditional Dragon Ball, but they make sense within the narrative, you know? Like, Golden Great Ape and Super Saiyan 4 do make sense within the narrative, but, like, they're not traditional Super Saiyan forms or whatever, so people hate them. It has a few issues, like the Black Star Dragon Balls. If they were there the entire... Who keeps remaking these things, considering that the Dragon Balls, every time those disappeared... Actually, no, the Dragon Balls came back with its creator, unless the Dragon Balls themselves were destroyed. But... But are you gonna tell me that the Black Star Dragon Balls weren't destroyed when Boo and Gotenks were fighting and they blew up the fucking the lookout? Like how exactly did those not get blown up? Like GT has its fair share of problems too. But for the most part they're minor problems. Dragon Ball Super has a bunch of major narrative problems, and it continually annoys me. It's just... And again, this has nothing to do with nostalgia, because honestly, I have such a shit memory that I forget pretty much everything after 3 days. And, like 3 days from now, I won't even remember making this video. That's how bad it is. And like in order to have nostalgia, you need to have nostalgic memories. I don't have any. As far as any memories of Dragon Ball as a kid goes, I remember that I watched it. That's it. I don't remember anything specifically. All I know is that I watched it as a kid. Go away, son. You're ruining my video. Ah! And it's just... It continually... And, like, I would express my, like, discomfort or distaste or whatever you want to call it on, like, Facebook once. And it's like, so much for Mastered Ultra Instinct. How exactly do people like this if all this shit doesn't make any sense? I had a bunch of people, like, nobody's forcing you to watch it. Fair enough. Go back to watching Sailor Moon. Never watched Sailor Moon. I know a little bit of it, but only by reputation. I've and a bunch of gifs of people telling me to shut the fuck up. And it's like, the fact that they can't even, like, actually come to words why they even like it, kind of shows you, I don't know. If I had to say anything, Dragon Ball Super is essentially the Dragon Ball equivalent of Teen Titans Go. It is shit narratively with characters that are based off of other characters we already know, but don't act the way they should. They're in a different style. Technically speaking, they are in a different style. That is a thing. Toriyama changed his style over the years, and they're trying to mimic that new style. Let me just come over here and go away. God, hate the sun. And watch, and then it's gonna come in here like Super Mario Brothers 3. It's mostly comedy driven, with fight scenes that don't look terrible, to be fair. Dragon Ball Super has better fight scenes than Teen Titans Go, I'll give it that. But it also has shitty... I'm not gonna say, like, Dragon Ball Super has, like, bad animation, at least the last half of it. But it's got very stilted, very, when they're not fighting, their animation is very stilted, very limited, and very off-model, like almost all the time. And as somebody who's watched Dragon Ball pretty much most of his life, seeing them being off-model is very noticeable. And to be fair, they're off-model quite a bit in the previous shows too. There's a lot of times when I'm watching Dragon Ball Z and I notice, like, off-model animation. But it doesn't happen all the time, and it happens every once in a while. And when it happens, they don't even, like, put focus on it for the most part. Like, there's a time where Goku is in Super Saiyan 3, I think it is, and, like, his hand isn't drawn very well. And hands are, like, one of the hardest things to draw, probably because there's, like, a good number of bones in your hand. Even more if it's late at night. No, I'm kidding. But, it's just, yeah, it's serious shit. And, honestly, I'm glad that it only has one episode left before Super is done, because I can't take any more of this show. So I'm gonna watch the final episodes that I missed on Dragon Ball Super, and then watch the finale, and then I'm gonna have 2 final videos, one to review Dragon Ball Super as a product, and another comparing it to its to another continuation of Dragon Ball Z that is not very well liked, and seeing which one is better. So, unless I can get another person to collab with me, those are the final Super videos I'm going to be doing. I'm still going to be talking about Dragon Ball every now and then, but for the most part, Super is done. So, until then, I will see you guys later. Bye!